Oh dear.
All right, people are showing up. It's happening. Hello, hello, hello. Who's here? Casey. Hey, Casey. Wait, Ebony wasn't here. Where'd Ebony go? Okay. Casey, how's wedding planning going? Oh, we're recording right now. Not that it matters. Nobody cares.
Kill me.
Yep.
I'm like, people do this?
Some people live for it.
I definitely not living for it.
Uh-oh.
I wish I could hire somebody, but that costs money too. So
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Hey, y'all. We are going to give it another couple minutes. Over there, I think. We are also about to go live on Instagram.
That's exciting.
I know. Bryn is doing exciting. Are we live?
I think we're.
Is it happening? Okay, well, hi, Instagram. We're about to start our meeting. If you'd like to join the meeting, we can. I'm not sure if we can put the Zoom in the caption or anything.
It's on our link tree in the bio. You can go to the bio and there's, oh, hey, Zach's on the live. You
Zach,
can
my
go to the link in our bio and we'll link this in.
Awesome. Thanks, Bryn. All right, people are rolling in. So hello, everyone on the Zoom. Hello, everyone on the Instagram. We'll get started soon. Okay. How is everyone? Everybody eating some king cakes this season?
Too many already.
Yeah. As you all know, I don't even live here anymore, and I've also had too many. I'm here now in New Orleans, but every time our family or Zach comes here, because we're both still working in New Orleans, we get king cakes. So yeah, we've been lucky. And I have a list of king cakes to bring back this time.
What's your favorite so far?
I mean, we had the Bywater Bakery Chantilly. That's been my favorite this year so far, but I haven't had as many as usual. I've only had 3. So, but our house is near the hub. So I'll be hitting that up probably today to have some to eat while I'm in town, and then the day I leave to bring back with me. Okay, it looks like we've got more folks rolling in and Instagram. Hello. All right. If you are on Instagram and you want to join the meeting, although you're getting basically the same experience, but you'll be able to get the links and join the chat. That is in our link tree. And we're just going to give another couple minutes for people to roll in and for me to catch up on the waiting room. I hope everyone is staying healthy. This tridemic, is that what they're calling it, has hit my family hard. So hopefully it hasn't hit you all. Hey, Ebony.
Hello. I
How are
was enjoying your king cake review. I had one by Antoine's, the cream cheese one. It was really good. But everyone has been talking about Dong Fong. I've never had any of theirs, so
Oh
I'm
my
anxious
God.
to try it. But I went
Yeah.
online and I read that they're like pre-orders are sold out for the season. And this was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
You like cream cheese, it is stuffed with cream cheese.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Dong Fong is like my top three. I went this morning and got an Antoine's. 2 weeks ago, or on King's Day, I went and I stood in the line at Randazzo's and bought 8 cakes.
Okay.
And then shipped them to family. But yeah, so now I've moved on to Antoine's today, but Antoine's is also one of my favorite with the cream cheese. Yeah, Dong
have you tried the one with the praline topping on it?
I saw that when I went and I was like, do I need this much sugar today?
Oh, I love the praline one. That's Miss Loretta's, is that right?
No, Antoine's has
Oh,
one as
Antoine
well.
has it.
Antoine
Okay.
does one as well, but I am like a Loretta freak.
Yeah,
So
I'm a Loretta Stan 100%. Like she.
yeah. So
But
I might do hers first and then try Antoine's. I usually get like 4 or 5 Antoine's cakes every year. I try to go through all of them, get the queen cake and all that.
All right, so we are, people keep rolling in, going to get started in just a minute, but as you can see, our introduction is to introduce yourself and your favorite king cake or parade route food in the chat. So let's keep this king cake conversation rolling in the chat. And on Instagram, if you want to put your favorite king cake in the comments or chat or whatever it is that you can type into. In the comments, that would be super fun. So this meeting is being recorded, and we are live on Instagram as well. We're trying that for the first time, bringing food policy to the people. Okay. Let's see. I think that we will go ahead and get started. So, please introduce yourself. Thank you, Haley, for modeling that. Introduce yourself. If you're with an organization, put that in there as well. And your favorite king cake in there. Sorry, I just saw that I commented, but I think it's Devin who
I'm
is.
so sorry, y'all. I deeply apologize. I'm doing everything etiquette wrong wise right now.
No,
I'll be
it's
right back.
amazing. It's amazing. I was like, how did I do this? Yeah, what am I doing right now? Okay. All right, so we're going to get started. So welcome everyone. And again, please put your name and your favorite king cake in the chat. This is our January meeting of FPAC. We are doing this all virtual. I'm in New Orleans actually, but we're doing it virtually because of just various health concerns. I don't know about you all, but I know more people who've had coronavirus in the last month than ever before during the pandemic. Thank you all for being here. Okay, so we're going to begin with our policy updates, and I'm going to let Haley take this. She has a really important policy update to share with everyone. Go ahead, Haley.
Can everyone hear me? That's one thing.
Just talk real loud.
Okay, so beginning of March 2023, the emergency allotment that was allocated because of the COVID pandemic is ending. Which means everybody is going to be losing at least $95 a month. If households were at their maximum, they were receiving an additional $95 a month. And if they were not at the maximum, they were brought to the maximum, which could have been more than $95 a month. So they will be losing that. And I have a flyer that I'm going to drop in the chat. And Brent already did. And feel free to share it. Also the Social Security cost of living adjustment this year increased by 8.7%. So that also counts as an income for Social Security, counts as an income when determining SNAP eligibility. So because there's an increase in income, there will more than likely be a decrease in their SNAP benefits for those who are on Social Security or have like disability. Some veterans funds count towards that as well. So all of that will potentially cause an even larger decrease in SNAP benefits. All of this is in the flyer information, and there's a QR code to get more thorough information on both of those. If anyone has any questions, feel free to email me or ask him.
Great. Thank you, Haley. Haley's email is in the bottom of the screen. So basically everyone will be losing some amount of SNAP, which as we know is a big deal. So this is something that we are going to be really advocating hard for in the Farm Bill, is keeping the maximums that became minimums during the pandemic. So we have flyers available. We would love to get them out to as many people as possible. So if you have a group of folks that you can get this to, you can download it from here. We will also be sending it out. We are trying to get it on our website. We just literally finished it this morning. So it will be on our website and we will send out that link, but you should be able to download it from here for now. Thank you, Marianne. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you, Haley. And so next I'm going to pass it. I think Devin just signed back in, not as me. So I'm going to pass it to Devin to talk about our Farm Bill organizing.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I once again apologize for the chaotic energy that I brought to this space, getting it all together. So as far as Farm Bill organizing that we are doing, we are moving right along with that, given the kind of congressional chaos that we have started session with, particularly in the House. We are maybe a little on time as far as what we're doing, which is really exciting. So the congressional chaos basically has kind of bumped our expected timeline for reauthorization back a bit. We are currently working on putting together listening sessions with our first one coming up, as you can see on the screen, this Sunday from 10 to 11:30 at Press Street Gardens. And then we also have one slated for Central LA Louisiana on the 2nd. We're going to be partnering with Louisiana Central for that, and we're really excited about that as well. In terms of the Southeast Louisiana session, I just want to let everyone know that we do have a rain plan, so we will be transitioning to virtual if that becomes a need. So I will be sending emails to folks tomorrow, and also be posting on the Sprout and FPAC and a Greater New Orleans social media sites with information about that. So keep an eye out around noon-ish tomorrow for that final call if we're going to continue in person or go virtual. So just to reiterate, in terms of our Farm Bill organizing, we are doing listening sessions right now. The eventual outcome of those listening sessions is that we'll be collecting all of that data and input, articulating what our positions and priorities are, and then signing on to kind of adjacent national platforms that exist. So we've mapped 5 national platforms: the National Farm Bill Law Enterprise, the Native Farm Bill Coalition's recommendations, National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition, Federation of Southern Cooperatives, and the NRDC's platforms. So we'll be signing on to probably at least one, probably more than that of those platforms, and then potentially submitting public comment as well with our own kind of discrete Louisiana recommendations as well. I think that's everything. If I'm missing anything, Alyssa, just let me know, but hopefully we'll see some of y'all on Sunday.
No, thank you so much. That's great. And we are going to drop the link to our Farm Bill 101 webinar that we did. And we have also dropped the link to both of those Eventbrites. So if you would like to come to our Farm Bill listening sessions, those are there, as well as our social media, so that you can get updates. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So now we are going to transition into our working group updates. And so first one will be business development, which Chandra and Eric, side note, I just sent you an email because we got some exciting new information that Sadie has said we can share. So I'm going to try to upload that into the chat as well. But please go right ahead.
I feel like I have a horrible section. Eric, do you want to start? And then
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just logged on, but
No, I was like, I didn't see him, but then
yeah, so we business development updates. We met in the fall, and then we met again with our permits and licensing subgroup, I think in January. No, that's January now, so maybe December. And that's kind of the bulk of our updates are kind of within the permitting and licensing world, because that seems to be lots of the pain points with our burgeoning entrepreneurs and you know, successful ongoing businesses as well. So we will, could you, Alyssa, I did see that email. I haven't like downloaded it yet. Can we drop that in the chat?
Yes, we are working on doing that. We also have not yet downloaded it. So working on, oh, never mind. Of course, Bryn has. Yes, there it is. So this is, go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry. I don't want to take.
well,
No, I mean,
so it's
you've seen it for a minute longer than I have.
Okay, yeah. So we just, as you all know, a few months ago, I think, time means nothing now, but a few months ago, City Council passed the food pop-up new permitting. And they have just now, thank you, September, October, have just now released this document, which is what walks you through what you need and how to get this food pop-up permitting host. And I can't remember what we're calling it, but basically the pop-up, how to get these new permitting and permits and licensing. And this will be on the, I think it's potentially already on the city's website. If not, it will be very soon. But we just got it in email in the last 10 minutes. And I quickly sent a message back to Councilman Moreno's staff saying, we have a meeting, can we share? And they said, yes. Great. So please, this is brand new, hot off the presses, share it with all the businesses you know.
Yeah, so let's start sharing that. And I'm just gonna, I guess we will probably be scheduling a workshop or something around this and do some outreach through FPAC and our other organizations. So stay tuned as we digest this information, which I guess most of us are actually pretty well aware of. But we will be dispersing it to folks and you know, trying to get all the pop-ups and venues in line. If you are a pop-up or a venue and have questions about it, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, it speaks to both the host, which would be the venue space, whatever that is, and then it's kind of broken down in half, the requirements for approvals that previously a pop-up would have to have. And I think the language is pretty clear, but there were a few wording things that I was like, okay, I hope people aren't confused on, but maybe if you ping us or email Alyssa to say like some of this maybe needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, we can provide that feedback to them within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and they did, like as we were going through the process on the venue side, they did keep those, I guess, purposefully relatively general, as far as like breweries, wineries, and a couple of the of other, social gathering spaces. But they weren't really, because one of our concerns, and for you that aren't familiar, my name is Eric Rothschild, and I run the New Orleans Trap Kitchen, which is a commissary kitchen. We've also hosted markets. And so that was one of the concerns is, we didn't see commissary kitchens on that list, but us and I know some of the other commissaries in town do host events. And they said, that's okay. You have the permits and stuff. So if there's if you're a market or a farm and you do want to host events and it's not listed there, we can kind of work through that as well. Within the process of working on the pop-up permit and some of the ramifications as this has come through, two kind of bigger issues that we were well aware of beforehand, but they have kind of come more into play because some of these are requirements for the pop-up permit is an occupational license. So we've kind of circled back in the BDWG to start addressing some of the issues, because there is typically there might be a pretty heavy backlog at the city, and there's a lot of confusion within the occupational license process as well. And so we've kind of circled back to start really honing in on that. And one thing that we identified is we found a consultant, Carolyn Bardos of Licensing Plus is her name of her company. And she presented at the last at the subgroup, at the permitting and licensing subgroup meeting. So we can provide a link to where those notes are. And we are working together with Ms. Bardos to figure out, she's offered to offer some of her services to members and I guess other tangential members of FPAC or groups that we work with. So I think what we're so Licensing Plus, she does both bookkeeping and permitting consulting. And we're still kind of feeling out what this program or relationship is going to look at. But I believe what we kind of settled on potentially is kind of a office hours situation where there'll be particular days and times and like a sign up on like Calendarly or some other application, so that if you are about to start the process or you're in the process, you can sign up and basically have a free conversation with Ms. Bardos, and she can kind of help out. I think it's going to start out as like 15-minute discussions to kind of identify where you're at and what the issue is. And then from there, if I say client coming from my world, but a client or a friend or whatever, somebody that needs help can get that help. And then if it's a larger issue, then they can, potentially figure out, how they want to work together. Licensing.
More details are forthcoming, so we'll send like the specifics of that and how to fill out. That'll all be on the FPAC. And then if people have any referrals to send to us, that we can compile in our Excel of addressing needs at the city, state versus federal level. We've had some referrals of businesses. Please send that our way, including if you have any grant opportunities. We're compiling a Excel spreadsheet at the levels that I previously stated, and any events that you have, like showing people how to do Stay Serve and go through those things. Please feel free to send that to us as well, so we can push that and like it on our social media FPAC platform. Thank you to the social media FPAC people in advance.
And I'll drop the links to, so basically those are two workbooks that Chandra referred to, the kind of issues log where we're getting the kind of testimonials and figuring out where people are getting caught up in the permitting and licensing process. We're still kind of finalizing that, but we definitely want any feedback on what, like the form is in pretty draft form right now, but if there's something that we're missing, we would love feedback on that. and the grant opportunities list is pretty much set. We just need to put more grants and more loans, and we want to focus on both for-profit and nonprofit. So that right now you can send any grants, loans, accelerator programs that you know of or are interested in to Chandra and I, but hopefully at some point we will all be populating this list as a group. Is that it? Great. Thank you.
That was fantastic. Thank you. That was a lot of information. So if you have questions, please reach out. Eric and Chandra, can y'all drop your emails in the chat perhaps? And you can email one FPAC staff if you would like for a connection. Okay, so now we're going to move to food production, which I believe Bryn will be doing the update on.
Yes. Hey, everyone. So most of the focus of our food production working group is centered around our A Greener New Orleans campaign, which is powered by us, Sprout, NOLA, and can't hear me? Oh, okay, sorry. I was thinking. So that's powered by us, Sprout, and the Greater New Orleans Growers Alliance. We're at the phase right now where we're taking one-on-one meetings with council members. We are matching the council members up with growers in their district so that they can hear the successes as well as the struggles that growers are facing. And we're able to do one-on-one meetings. We've had 2 council members sign on for support. We've had council member Thomas and council member, oh my gosh, who else am I?
Gia Russo.
Thank you.
Yes, I saw Devin, and Devin coordinated that one because that's her district. So we've had them sign on, and we're in the works with meeting other ones. We've also recently met with folks in the Office of Community Assets and Investment and the Office of Business and External Services. And if you didn't know those offices didn't exist, don't feel bad because we just recently learned about them as well. But the Office of Business and External Services kind of houses the one-stop shop, code enforcement, permitting. It's 7 different entities that are housed under there. So we're working with them with code enforcement to really highlight our planks, and something that we've seen is a great need for an urban ag liaison position, somebody that works at the city level, but is also in touch with growers and can advocate on both ends to kind of bridge some misunderstandings between things like light citations and residential versus agriculture water meters. But we do have a few events going on with that campaign. We're having a Crew de Vue pre-post watch party at Fresh Street Gardens, which is at 800 Homer Plessy Way. That's going to be on Saturday, February 4th. I don't have the date on there, but we're also working on an op-ed that we'll be sending out with other organizations, particularly about folks being brought in at the city level for things such as advising on climate plans and health plans. We'll have more information about that for how we plan on gathering together for that. So ways that you can engage currently, we have a postcard campaign. We also have been doing screen printing pop-ups. So if any of you are having any partner events, we'd love to send over some of our postcards with postage, and we'll have those filled out, sending to city council members, asking them to support the Greater New Orleans and our efforts to increase urban ag. We've also been doing screen printing pop-ups at some of our events. We have the equipment, the materials, and all. So if you want to have us at one of your events, just let us know. We have yard signs if you want to advocate and spread the word. Send us pictures of your yard signs that you have already. And all of the information can be found at agreenernola.com or at agreenernola. You can email myself or Devin or agreenernola@gmail.com if you want any more information or if you would like to plug into any of our efforts.
Great, thanks, Bryn. Any questions about the food production or Greener New Orleans? Okay, fantastic. It looks like since we have started the meeting, we've had some new folks join. If you will just introduce yourself in the chat with your name, if you are representing an organization, and what your favorite king cake or parade food is, so that we can all get to know each other. Okay, so next up we have our seafood working group, which I'm super excited about because it is going strong. Marianne, I believe, is here. Yes. Marianne, would you like to give the update?
Sure.
Thank you.
So we had another fabulous meeting this month. We have been meeting every month on the second Wednesday of the month, if anybody's interested in joining us. We have been focused on a handful of specific initiatives. One is supporting alternative oyster culture in Louisiana. And we have drafted a resolution for the state legislature to pass and are working with folks there to make that happen. We also have discussed getting more demonstrations and such out in the community on how to use local seafood, including how to render whole fish, with the idea of demystifying cooking fish at home. A lot of people tend to only eat seafood out. And we thought if we could provide some tasty recipes and have some fun demonstrations, that people will be more likely to buy fish at farmers markets and from their local fishing community folks. So that's in process. We've been trying to figure out how to be able to do that at Crescent City Farmers Market and other places. And we're working specifically with Dana Hahn at Carmo to make this happen, and a couple of other folks. We're trying to enlist some chefs. One of the things that has been raised repeatedly is that it's hard to know what local seafood is when we go to restaurants in New Orleans. And in fact, unfortunately, some of our local restaurants tend to buy imported seafood, even though we have wonderful local seafood here. And so one of the things we thought we could do is start a local seafood labeling project on menus, a lot like the NOLA Eat Fit labels on menus, where it's not something, or Eat Fit labels on menus. You know, if you go into a restaurant and sometimes there'll be like a Eat Fit recommendation on the menu. It's pretty easy. It's not something that we have to police. And that was one of the issues, is like, who's going to do enforcement? And the answer was, we don't have anybody to really check the restaurants. And so ideally what we'll do is we'll have somebody working with the restaurants and, essentially say, please label the dishes that are in fact local seafood all the time. And so that's exciting. We're figuring out how to make that happen. The other thing we've talked about is pushing some kind of policy initiative for local seafood labeling in general, as in like when you buy a box of seafood or when you go to the grocery store, knowing exactly where your fish comes from. There are national requirements, but they're pretty weak. It would be nice to have some local requirements to know where the seafood comes from. Right now, shrimp and crawfish, I believe, are the only two that are required to be labeled. So it would be nice to expand that to finfish. We've got a bunch of events coming up. We've got the CPRA 2023 Coastal Master Plan reveal and community discussion sessions. We've got University of New Orleans Cook-Off for the Coast, February 7th. And on March 11th, we've got Dockville Farms. And we're also planning to participate in a bunch of other events that are happening later in the year. They're just not soon enough to have figured out those plans and put them on this slide. So we're doing lots of stuff. Anybody interested in seafood, please join us.
Great. Thank you. That's super exciting. As many of you all know, we've been talking about having seafood as part of FPAC because, for so long we had it as in food production, but then we realized that didn't really fit. And luckily we have Marianne in our midst, and she has taken the helm of this seafood working group and turned it into something that is thriving and amazing, just like our seafood economy. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to give you the access?
Yes, Haley's going to give a quick food access update. now.
Yeah, we don't really have a slide. We just met on our first meeting of this year, 2 days ago. We're doing third Wednesday of every month if anyone wants to join at 1 p.m. Not a whole lot of updates yet, other than the snap changes that everyone should share. And then Hotbox is also working on a new website. So if you see their site, they are working on it and hoping to be able to accept snap soon. And yeah, Casey, if you have any updates that you want to share now, feel free. Otherwise, I know you said they'll be in the newsletter, so everyone look out for the Market Umbrellas newsletter coming out for some updates with them. All right.
Thanks, Haley. So those are our working group updates. If you are not part of a working group and you would like to be part of a working group, please reach out to Bryn. I think what I'm going to say. Please reach out to Bryn and we will connect you with one of our working groups. We'll also put a link to our strategic plan in the chat so that you can look to get understand a little bit more about what the working groups are working on right now. But that's really the heart of where most of the work happens. Most of the policy work is informed through our working groups because, you know, FPAC staff, we are not experts on all areas of the food system. We know a little bit about a lot of things, but the working groups really are where the deep, deep work happens. And on that note, we are doing our membership renewal. Oh, Eric, yes, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Okay, this actually, I might have jumped the gun here as you get into member renewals, but I was wondering what's the best forum to discuss or kind of ask questions on kind of recruiting new members, and as well as making sure that like current members in our current email lists are being utilized both for the work group and the general meeting.
Sure. Yes. Right. So that is what we are trying to work out right now.
Okay.
We are in the process of renewing and recruiting new members, and what it looks like to. Sorry, my Apple Watch apparently had something to say about that. And what it looks like to be a member and how to. I think we have someone who needs to mute themselves, if you don't mind. If everybody can check to make sure you're muted, that would be great. Okay, so yeah, we're in the process of doing that, as well as doing our like if you're interested in becoming a member of FPAC or becoming part of our network, what those sort of documents look like that we send, like orientation, that's the word I'm looking for. So stay tuned on that, but the best way to plug people in is either directly with the working group, because we also know that some people may not want to come to these meetings, but they may just want to be part of a working group, and that is completely fine. You know, you don't have to be a part of sort of every piece of our sphere, if you will. So it's really kind of getting people plugged in at whichever level they want to be. Maybe they really just want to look at the food system on a whole and network, and then being a member and just coming to the general meetings may be the best bet. Maybe they're a food business and they don't have time for these meetings, and just want to be plugged into the food business development working group. I don't know if I answered your question at all.
Yeah, no, that's a start, and some of it I think we might want to talk about offline, because it's just like as a co-chair, right? We have the business working group email list.
Mm-hmm.
Does that go out? Does the general meeting information go out to that list? And who is that on us or on FPAC, on the co-chairs or the FPAC to send those
Okay.
out? That's one of my questions.
Okay, yeah, we'll put that on an agenda for our next working group chair meeting.
Okay, perfect.
To sort of talk through what all of that looks like.
Yep.
So yeah, if you are currently a member of FPAC, and to be clear, membership doesn't cost anything. It really is just saying that you are part of this group with us, and you also support the policy platforms that we support, and have access to all these great resources. So please fill out the membership form. Oh, excuse me. If you do not have a proxy, you don't have to designate a proxy. The reason we asked for that, and this hasn't been as much of an issue in the past couple of years, but we have had where an organization will send a different person each time. And that just creates some problems with continuity and with information sharing. So that's why we ask to designate a proxy, especially when we're kind of making decisions about policy update, about policy platforms and things like that. Please select a working group. We would like for all members to be part of a working group. If that's not possible, we understand, but please also, select a working group that you are either already part of or want to be part of. And we have also noticed that we have people shift around a lot in the food system. So we have some of y'all with your old organizations, and your organization has a different person. So please provide updated organizational affiliation. And we want to know how we're doing as a coalition and as a collaboration. So we've worked with Xavier University and Megan Knapp, who's been a longtime partner of FPAC, to come up with an evaluation for how FPAC is doing as a coalition, and making sure that we're serving your needs and that the coalition is operating well. So we have this form that Bryn just dropped in the chat that we're asking you to please fill out to let us know how we're doing. This is our after every meeting evaluation, and then we'll be doing a larger one at the end of the FPAC quote unquote year, which is in May. And this evaluation is separate from the membership renewal. So please fill out the membership renewal, as well fill out the evaluation, which is about how we're doing. Does anybody have any questions about that? There may be some in the chat. I'm going to try to look. Proxy is not mandatory. Okay, great. Well, right on time. Does anyone have any questions about what we've discussed so far? Okay, great. So now we'll be doing community announcements. I know that Marianne has an announcement that she'd like to make, or an ask. So I want to give you the floor first. And then if you want to let us know what's your organization doing, do you have any needs? Do you have any opportunities? Are you hiring? All those sorts of things. Now is when we turn it over to the network to really collaborate.
Thanks. Yeah. So some of you know that we have been working on a anti-industrial aquaculture campaign for a while, and things are happening at the federal level. There have been designations of aquaculture opportunity areas in the Gulf of Mexico, where projects with giant floating net pens housing tens of thousands of fish are slated to be. And so one of the things we're doing is collecting signatures to present to Congress and President Biden to revoke the executive order that allowed this. It was actually the Trump administration that put it in, and the current administration is supporting it, which is a bit strange, which tells me that there is a lot of financial big business at play behind this. And we are aware of that. We know that it's like Cargill, Monsanto, Walmart, the Darden restaurants, trying to support this so they can get more cheap fish. into their businesses. So for people who are interested in that, I can give you an email of the person who is doing the organizing. And if you'd like to reach out to them, his name is James Mitchell. And we're working with Don't Cage Our Oceans. The entity is a collaborative coalition of partners from all across the country. And we definitely could use more representation from Louisiana, and specifically any foodies or chefs. There's been a lot of talking about how the food community feels about this and how the farming community feels about this, because this is industrial farming, just like we do industrial farming on land. And so we're hoping to partner with folks. And then the other thing I just want to mention is we have a community calendar up now on Facebook with classes and events that we're hosting. And so if you're interested in any of that stuff, please check out our Facebook, and I'll put that in the chat as well.
Thanks, Marianne. Was there anything else? I feel like there was something for your BDRFP, but I may be mixed up on that.
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay, cool. That may have been that event tonight that we didn't do. Okay, who else would like to share something?
Hello, everyone. Was someone else talking? I'm sorry. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Sinedra with Friends of Cody's. On January 25th. We have headshots and cocktails. So we are sold out of pre-sale tickets. But if you need headshots, we're offering headshots. Walk up is $40 for one look. You get your headshot shots on site. They're edited on site, and you get them when you leave. You'll have your headshots for 2023. So it is first come, first serve. So even though our come at a time when no one is here, because it's not like it's a networking event as well. So headshots, cocktails, have cocktails while you wait to have your headshots taken. So January 25th at Cody's, and I'll drop the address in the chat box.
Thanks, Anidra. That's exciting. Let's see. I don't know if Angelina is here, but it looks like there's some other Market Umbrella folks, but I believe Market Umbrella is hiring at least 2 positions right now.
I was just trying to Google it because I was like, oh man, the person who's here is not here.
I know. One is for a market
coordinator. Yes. Okay. Market coordinator.
And then the farm assistance person.
Correct.
Okay.
I can drop Angelina's email in the chat if people would like to reach out to her. I can share also on my behalf, and then maybe Chelsea probably has something to say too. So my name is Casey Davis. I'm with Market Umbrella. I'm the Director of Healthy Food Access Programs. I'm trying to decide what is important for this group. One thing that I mentioned earlier this week with the Food Access Working Group is that we are starting a smaller working group to support SNAP recipients in the greater New Orleans area and possibly in the state. So we're hoping to convene people who service a large number of SNAP recipients so that we can collaborate and share resources so that SNAP recipients, obviously in this very interesting time of like SNAP changing, so we can share resources and let people know about what's going on. Kind of like a different way of SNAP education. So not healthy eating, but just about like what SNAP is and how you can utilize your SNAP benefits in the best way. So if anybody is interested in joining that working group, I do have a list of people who I have and am planning on reaching out to. But if you would like to join that group, feel free. I know Haley is on that group, and Chelsea has a list of a couple of organizations that we're probably going to collaborate with to support the statewide SNAP resources. Let me think what else we have. I feel like I should talk about
Unlimited
Market Match is unlimited with all of our markets. So double your dollars with Market Match, not only with Crescent City Farmers Markets, but also with Top Box and coming soon, Corner Store, as well as the co-op. So check out our newsletter for dates when those will be open. We are looking for additional partners to be market match partners, possibly corner stores. We had a very good meeting earlier this week with Haley and the Food Access Working Group, and Hart discussing the previous Healthy Corner Store initiative and how Jefferson Parish is interested in that as well. So we will probably be talking with them about adding them onto our market match partner list. But I think that's pretty much it. Sorry. I'm just like very rambling on a Friday afternoon.
No need to be sorry. That was fantastic. And then I believe also I feel like I just happened to be saying all these things for Market Umbrella because I was on y'all's website, but there's a Grow the Good information session coming next week as well. For if anybody here is involved with any farmers markets around the state that may be interested in the Grow the Good Snap Match program.
Yes, thank you, Elise. If anyone's interested, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So Chelsea Jackson, the Grow the Good Program Director. So we do have an informational session on January 27th from 1 to 2 p.m. And then we have another session on February 15th from 5 to 6 p.m. So if you're interested, you can send me an email and I'll send you the information.
Great. Thank you. Sorry, I can't really, while I'm doing these meetings, I can't really see who's in the meeting. And Kelly, I see that you have your hand up and I'm sorry that I missed that, but please, you have the floor.
Hey, Gary.
No, Kelly, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
hey.
I was in a meeting. Okay.
Okay. Hey, I just want to update all of you that I'll be moving on from Food Rescue Us at the end of the month. And we've hired a new site director. So if any of you have been involved, I can let me know and I'll be sending over the contact information for this new person. And as it pertains to the food waste and recovery group, we've sort of been not active, but hopefully maybe potentially pulling some things together in the next year or two. And so if you have anything, if you're interested in food waste and recovery or have anything that you want to talk about, I'm still very excited and passionate and dedicated to this work. So I still would love to stay in touch with all of you. And yeah, lastly, just I thank you so much for all of the work that they all do. I admire and look up to all of you so much. And I appreciate Alyssa and Bryn and all of FPAC bringing this together as always. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly. Will you drop your Food Waste US email in here? I know that I've personally accidentally been sending email to you there. So if you could just drop in the best way to get in touch with you. And if you already have in the chat and I missed it, apologies. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, does anyone else have other announcements that they'd like to share?
I have one more. I have an ask actually. At Cody's, we only have the capacity for baking, prepping, anything that doesn't require a hood system. So between now and spring, I would like to acquire a hood system, new or used. So if you know of anyone that has I don't know how gently used the hood system can be, but a gently used hood system or a new hood system, somewhere between 10 and 15 feet long. Yeah, I'm ready to install so that we can increase our capacity here. And if you know of any food entrepreneurs that are looking to take advantage of the upcoming festival season, now is the time to start the process, in my opinion, with getting permitted. So we do have capacity here, but most importantly, I'm looking to increase our capacity. So if you know anyone who has a hood system for sale, please send them my way. Thank you.
Thanks, we will. And just want to remind everyone that Cody's also has a great space for meetings that you can rent for a very reasonable price. We did an FPAC meeting there And it was a great space. And then you can also like peek around the kitchen while you're in there, or like see all the food entrepreneurs buzzing around. It's really very fun.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any announcements they want to share or news? Shout outs?
Just really quickly, I'm going to reiterate that on Sunday we have a farm bill listening session. So if you've got any farmer folks, or if you as an advocate is interested in hearing what our farmers are interested in themselves, feel free to join us. Fingers crossed for in-person Sunday at Press Street Gardens, 800 Homer Plessy Way, 10 to 11:30. Keep your eyes on social media for an announcement if we have to turn virtual. There will be coffee and pastries, just confirmed that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. We are going to send all these links and the slides out in the notes in the coming weekish. So be on the lookout for that. We are going to give you 6 minutes of your time back, but what I'm asking is that in those 6 minutes, you fill out your membership renewal and the evaluation, which are in the chat. So if there's nothing else, then we will let everyone go. We'll keep it open so that you can see the chat and get the forms. Thanks, y'all. Our next meeting will be in March. And we'll make a decision about whether it's in person or virtual as it comes closer, and as we kind of see the health of our community and how transmission rates are and all of that stuff, because we love seeing everyone in person, but we also want to be very mindful of the health of our community. I appreciate each of you and all of you together.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Oh,
Thanks, Instagram.
yeah. Thanks, Insta. Loved having you.
And the links that you all have will be in the notes, right?
Yes,
So-
we're capturing all these links.
Okay, perfect.